A really awesome showreel by WRC. As you can see, they have done some really good work on the Bhooth Bangla film. And what you need to know is that WRC is one of our clients, and they have been using Houdini extensively. And what is really interesting to see is that all of the setups that you saw were all in-house built. Their artists have worked on the setups and the shots, so it's really well done, actually, to start with. So they have done some really complex work under the hood, and once they come in, they're going to show you more on the underlying setups that they've used. But we are here to touch upon one of the subjects that they have used a lot in this particular reel that you saw, which is character effects. And so this workshop is all going to be about character effects, okay? We are Tathastu Techno Solutions, and we are in partnership with Side Effects. And this particular workshop is going to be about the muscle system and the tissue solvers, okay? So I'll tell you a little bit about ourselves. We are official partners with Side Effects. We resell Houdini licenses all throughout India. And we are also providing technical consultancy for Houdini users. So it's maybe studios that use Houdini. We give them any kind of technical consultancy services that they require. We do a lot of training as well, where we train studio artists also, and we also train students. So we work with universities and colleges and institutes and train up students for Houdini as well. So our community mission is to build a very strong Houdini community in India, and we support artists, students, and studios to all around India to work with Houdini, basically. Okay. So go to the next slide. So just a little bit about myself. I am the co-founder, CTO, and DFX supervisor at Tathastu, and I was the ex-head of effects, crowds, and tech anim at MPC for the last 5 years. I also worked at DreamWorks for the last, for 10 years in the past. I am a big supporter of integration of Houdini and AI, so I do a lot of experimentations with that. Next we have Viswesh. He's our technical consultant. He is from Side Effects, so he trained with them, and he is a trainer also with us in Houdini. He is one of the people who takes trainings for studios, and we have done a bunch of trainings already for multiple studios. And he also does a lot of R&D and experimentations with Houdini. I don't know if you guys have seen the Houdini 21 RBD destruction, the car destruction stuff, and Viswesh is the person behind it, basically. And he is also going to be the speaker and presenter of the day. Unlike what it says there, that he's occasionally bores people with the lazy presentations. He is actually quite technical, and he's an expert in the tissue and muscle systems, which he's going to take us into. Yeah, over to you, Viswesh. Yeah, all the best.
Thank you, Venu. Okay, cool, guys. Without further ado, I'm here to talk about Otis, which is also known as Organic Tissue Solver inside of Houdini. It's new to Houdini 21, which is the recent version that came around last year. And one of the specifics about this is that it is a soft tissue simulation tool inside of Houdini, which means it's the ideal setup to simulate muscles and tissues inside of Houdini. So let me just set it up over here. And one of the other things is that it is GPU accelerated, so you can expect it to perform really fast. And it is also, but it also has FEM-like quality. FEM is finite element methods, and that's specifically used in the case of like simulating objects inside of objects. So and in this case you have muscles inside of skin and all that, so it's ideal. You could simulate complex characters, be it bipeds or quadrupeds as well. But one of the favorite characters that I like is my best friend Otto over here. He's shipped along with Houdini, and he also comes with a couple of recipes. And recipes are like pre-built setups. So you have a pre-built setup that for this Otto character. Otto has a realistic human referenced muscles and skeleton system with a lot of layers in it. And along with these recipes, you could do a lot of those muscle simulations that you see on the top there, Otto flexing his muscles and all that. And here's a cool example of Otto exercising and making me guilty for eating a lavish breakfast buffet. But yeah, you can see around the chest and the hips, you can see how nicely those muscles are being simulated with physical accuracy. The other thing is that we have a quasi-static skin deform SOP, and what I mean by that is it is not time dependent. So you could use this post simulation to deform your skin geometry, and because again it's not time dependent, you can also distribute it across your farm if you're in a studio, and you can let it do its thing. So it's pretty fast, in my opinion. And the additional thing is that the left side shows you with the skin deform off, so you can see near the hip that there's not much stretching going on, when in reality you would expect a global deformation to happen on your skin geometry. And on the right, it shows exactly that, where you see the skin geometry along the hip as well is being stretched and pulled a little bit because of this movement. And that's the physical accuracy that I'm talking about over here. The next thing that I personally like is the fascia simulation. So when you take muscles, for example, it has a lot of, so muscles are not like already tightly bound. They have some muscles, like material quality itself is a little loose. And what this fascia sim setup does is it creates this tet mesh like geometry around the muscles and allows it to move freely within that geometry. So you get really accurate simulations in the case of this arm that you see over here. And the thing is that we generate this additional layer that holds these muscles together while allowing them to move freely within. And the next thing is we have an amazing collision detect feature that helps calculate collisions along the back of the knee, under the armpits and all that, which is like really difficult when you, if there are any CFX people in the audience, you guys might know how difficult those simulations and animations are. But yeah, out of the box, you get really good results in areas like these. The next thing is that Otis can handle complex muscles and tissue simulations seamlessly, and this is one of the examples for that. The volume adjust SOP over here helps us manage these intersections by enforcing a minimum thickness in like muscle areas where it's really thin. If your muscle geometry is like really thin, then this helps adjust that volume and enforces a minimum thickness. And you can get a very clean and predictable result. So intersections between muscles are really well handled in this setup. And all this I'm talking about is from the recipes itself. There's no additional manual tweaking that's done. Of course, you could do that, but right out of the recipes itself, you're able to get all of these. And here's another example of the same thing that I just spoke about. Like under the armpits, you can see that all these different layers of muscles, even though stacked one on top of each other, really gives a plausible result. And you can also see how, despite increasing the volume of muscle on the right side, as soon as you hit simulate, it sort of adjusts and detects the collision between each muscle, and you get a really nice relaxation happening over there. And another robust feature is the muscle transfer setup inside of Otis. So this allows you to transfer skeleton and muscle geometry between characters, and that can be biped to biped, like you see on the left. We have auto muscles and skeleton being transferred to I'm not sure, is it Brute or Groot? I'm not sure, but a guy. And he is significantly much bigger than Otto himself. So you can see how nicely the skeleton and muscle geometry are being transferred to that character. And another extreme example is this cat to cow example that you see on the right. Of course, this muscle transfer system gets you really close to the finish line. But in order to get 100% accurate results, it would involve some amount of manual tweaking according to the character's setup. And that's where this bone adjustment comes into play. Like if you have a bone geometry that you need to realign based on your character, you could just use like a transform node or like a scale node to set it up, and your muscle transfer updates accordingly. That's really handy when you think about it. And this auto character that I forgot to mention is a production ready character. And what do I mean by that? Because in production, you would want a character to have its skin layer and its muscle layer and its bone layer to be separate, so that you can do accurate real life based simulations. And auto comes with just that. You have all these layers built in, so you could use that as your base to sort of transfer biped character setups to another biped, if you like. And this is the example of that. You can see auto in different shapes and sizes over here. I like to call them auto variants. And well, he doesn't have to wait a year to post transformation reels on Instagram. So that's nice. And finally, I'd like to talk about the Shut Sculpt tool, which is sort of a complementary tool to this Otis system. It's not a part of the Otis system, but it's complementary. And why I say that is it is a post-process tool, in my opinion, which allows you to take care of these muscle interpenetrations or like geometry intersections really nicely. It comes with a very sweet interface that is layer based. It's just one node, and when you enter the viewport state, you get this interface, and you're able to, each color over here represents a different layer of sculpt that you're able to manipulate on top of your existing animation or simulation. So, and the hill-like graph that you see within each color shows you how it seamlessly blends between the existing animation and the sculpt that you've made. It's really sweet when you think about it. And finally, if you're at a position where, hey, I haven't understood a single thing that you've just said up until now, then I highly encourage you to go and check out this Muscles Masterclass that's available for free online with on SideFX's website. There are also other features in this muscle system like ML, machine learning implications, and armature deform, but I really didn't have the time to touch base upon that to a great extent. But this masterclass over here by Lisbeth Liebeck, who is a character effects TD at SideFX, a great person, she has gone through this new system of muscle simulation inside of Houdini to a great depth. She talks about the auto character and uses that along with the recipes that are being built in with Houdini. And you only need to know the basics of Houdini actually to get started with this course. You just need to understand the interface, you just need to understand what attributes mean, what the parameters mean, and you're pretty much ready and set to start this masterclass and learn all about muscle simulation. And I highly recommend you guys to check it out. And with that being said, I think we are ready to, you saw the whole idea behind character simulation inside Houdini, the recent workflow. We also have Vellum systems inside of Houdini, which also does the same. Like previously, we used to use Vellum for muscle simulations, but this is not a replacement for that, but rather a secondary approach that we are trying to provide. In Houdini, the main thing is that you have many ways to do the same thing, and I strongly believe that. So this Otis system is one of the newest ways and the preferred ways that studios have also started adopting quite recently. So I highly recommend you guys to check this out, and you can now see some of the implications of this and many other things that Houdini has to provide inside of the Bhooth Bangla's breakdown. And thank you guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at the booth. We have a booth near the entrance, and our team is going to be there to answer any of your questions if there are any. So yeah, have a good day, and thank you for this opportunity. Over to Venu.
we will take some questions, and I wanted to ask from the audience, can you guys guess which characters used the muscle system under the hood? If somebody can reply.
So that big monster thing you made, the fire monster, was it the one?
Tiger? Okay, okay. Did you not see the Akshay Kumar character, the hero? So you're all right, actually. All of these characters did use the muscle system. So it is not necessary that it needs to be used for the big characters. Did you guys see a pigeon that came in between the show? So even for smaller characters, if you see the muscles, the feathers, every detail that you see with the skin and everything is can be simulated using this system. So the good thing is that all of this happens within the same solver, and with Houdini, the main advantage is that you don't need to buy different plugins for each thing. Everything is built in. So you just go ahead and use Houdini, and everything is there for you already. So that's the big advantage that you get. Even the rendering system, everything is built in, right? So any other questions if you guys have? Viswesh is here as well. Like I was saying, he's from Side Effects, and he has got a bit of experience with the answering questions also. So yeah, let us know if you have anything that you want us to pick up.
I don't like being put in the spot right now. Yeah, guys. Any questions from you guys? I mean, it doesn't need to be related to Bhooth Bangla. It doesn't need to be related to the character thing that I showed. Anything maybe related to Houdini itself. If you go beyond that, I might have to think twice. I might start twitching.
So yeah, so hi. Actually, I'm the student of Framebox Bandra. Okay, so I'm pursuing my FX and Dynamics course. Okay, so I'm on my last software now. So my last software is like going to start. It's Houdini. Okay, Houdini. So I want to ask you as a field expert. Okay, so on which segment while exploring the Houdini software and while learning it. Okay, so what should be my main focus while learning the software? Okay, because as a student and like while an enter, you can say on the industry level, like on ground. Okay, so like you can say like basically I want to ask like किस चीज़ में मैं ज़्यादा focus करूँ while learning the software like that.
So in my experience, I can't talk in a very objective way, but I can talk from my experience. In Houdini, there's this thing called geometry spreadsheet. It's a way of seeing the same things that are on your viewport. You're able to see it in the form of numbers and attributes. Okay. And in my personal opinion, the geometry spreadsheet is your best friend inside of Houdini. So in order to take in each character or each object that you bring inside of Houdini comes with a set of attributes. And these attributes are, let's say, position. The position of a character is not just a position, but it's a position attribute. So you're able to manipulate it. You're able to see those values change. If you have color applied to an object, the color is an attribute. It comes by the name CD, and that is reflected in the geometry spreadsheet. Okay. So having that open by the side is I would say is a good practice, and I would start you to, like, it's a good habit to start focusing on that when you're building a scene or when you're working on Houdini. And that way you're able to see in the form of numbers as well, like what changes are happening in the updates that you're doing to your node graph. That's like one of the basic things that I actually failed to do in the beginning. I got to know, I mean, I started looking at the geometry spreadsheet much later after I started using it. I was just looking at the viewport in the beginning. But I feel that's a good practice to start off with. Like, there's not one thing like this. There's many things. This is just one thing that I thought you can start with, like, focus on. Okay,
cool. And one last question is, like, I have heard that like recently my Nuke software has been completed, almost at the last part of it. Okay, so I have also heard that like this thing, Node is all like Houdini is also like full of Node, like Node-based software, isn't it? Yeah, so
sorry, I didn't get the first point.
Yeah, so like I want to ask you one thing. Like Houdini is totally a nodes-based software. Okay, yeah, nodes-based. Yeah. So while exploring the Nuke software, okay, I just like one thing in my mind. So like how should I keep the like in my mind like which node is related to whom? Like difficult because I had heard that कि nodes-based software है Houdini तो थोड़ा difficult है उसको like याद रखना all that stuff.
Any software is going to be difficult as like in the beginning.
Yeah, that I understand.
That's given. Of course, yes, people say that Houdini has a steep learning curve and all that. But in order to help you with that is why we have the Houdini documentation and n number of like resources on the content library and the learning portal of Side Effects. So if you want a good way to like learn about these nodes, then the first thing is we have a really cool thing where when you have the node on the node graph, you have a help icon that directly takes you to the node's information. Like it shows you what this node is used for, and also shows you some of the complementary nodes to that. So that's like, I would say that's a good way to start understanding which node is related to what. Like there is no node dictionary as such that you can just refer to, but I would say this is the first. This is as close as it can get. Yeah,
So
Venu, yeah.
I wanted to answer both your questions one more time. Okay, what Viswesh was telling you was from a more of a technical perspective, but I just want to give you a broader picture of what you were trying to ask. So I think the question was the first question was about as a student which area you should focus on, right? So it's not really about what we tell you. It's about what interests you, right? So when you look at Houdini, it's when you get in there, what you're passionate about. Let's say you like animation, then you get into that part of Houdini. So the advantage is that Houdini gives you access to everything. So if you want to be an animator, you can try Houdini for animation. You can try it for lighting. You can do it for effects. So it really depends on what you like to do. Accordingly, you need to go. So we won't be telling you, hey, you should focus only on this, because there's so many opportunities there, basically, right? So look at what really interests you. Look at the reels from Veta and from WRC and all these studios, and see what really pumps you, basically. Because if you are getting into this field, I've been in this industry for 20 years, right? So to live through that 20 years or 15 years of your career, you need to pick up something which really interests you. So Houdini is giving you the tools, but within one software you can access many things, but it's for you to pick up whatever you want to learn, basically, right? Did I answer that?
Yeah,
Okay.
now that you're saying that, now I understood that I misunderstood the question then.
Okay, and the second question,
bad.
there is a dictionary, and that is the Houdini help. So there is an extensive Houdini documentation that is from within Houdini. You can just go to help, and there is the Houdini documentation. Just go through it. Explanation for every node is given in there, so you can just search. It's very easy to search, and then you can pick any node, anything about the UI, anything you want to ask about it. Search there, and you will get an answer to it. On top of it, we have the content library from the Houdini site itself, and that's where you can find more material as well to learn.
Okay, that I answered right.
As a founder of WRC Studios, we have delivered something around 900 plus VFX shots and 450 plus heavy visual effects shots, which includes creature effects, compositing. Obviously, compositing. Without compositing, nothing will happen. And yeah, quite a challenging work, quite a joyful work what we have done. It took us around 11 months to finish this project with a team of 80 plus artists. And 350 terabytes of data, and a huge render time along with the time of simulations. And I will thank all the technology partners, especially Tathastu and Side Effects, who helped us to achieve what we actually planned for, and to optimize the entire process of simulation, muscle creation, and yeah, end-to-end USD workflow from animation software to Houdini to our lighting look dev software. And it was a seamless experience, what we have seen throughout. And I think Houdini is one of the most powerful tool right now, which is present in the industry. And yeah, so I will present the work what we have done. So it will be a montage of few shots, which will follow with few FX simulation shots, then crowd simulations, creatures, and creatures specially for the CFX and the muscle. So, especially for these shots where the bats are forming from the dust. So, these are quite memory extensive, CPU extensive simulations. This one shot, to create one single shot, there were something around 30 to 35 layers, and all are very smoothly done in using Houdini, get transferred to our LookDev software, which is our very much native software, and the entire movie was done using deep comping method because of its integration with Creature, with FX. So, like it was throughout a very seamless process, and yeah, so this shot is quite a bit challenging shot in terms of technical aspects. So the thing is, like, this body is getting disintegrated into small bats which are caught fire and turned into ash. So there were something around 600 plus bats. What we have done individual simulations for the fire for each and every bats. So yeah, when we started with the simulation and everything, it was way high, the simulation time. It was something around 24 hours of simulation time, which at the end of the day, we bring it down to 15 minutes for a cluster of 30 bats. And the overall data what we have exported, we used USD, we used VDBs, and what we have done for this shot is, like, if we transfer the data completely, it would be a data of few terabytes. So what we have done is we took the instance data, the point data basically from Houdini, with all the instance information, with the voxel information of the VDBs, and using USD, we seamlessly transfer it to our native lighting software, and actually this helps to deliver this shot in a very short time span. It's a highly memory extensive shot, in terms of simulations, in terms of rendering. And we bring down the entire rendering time. Like the entire shot got rendered in just 2.5 hours using 45 blades. And this all happened because of the seamless process, because of the transfer of data, what the software helped us to do quite seamlessly. Yeah. Yeah, so that's all we have for today. And any questions, anything?
Thank you. Lovely presentation. I'm Tarun Kriplani from Yota Render Farm, Urja Render Farm, servicing all industry partners for content creation. For Houdini specifically, when simulation is concerned, what's the best methodology to work to optimize render time universally across projects is what my general question is.
Okay. Yeah, so there is no single process yet actually. So it's all depend on in what methodology you are using and what are the techniques you are going through. Depend on the experience as well. Okay. So, but what we have right now is we have a very good wedging techniques. They have introduced a bit of ML, and if you can go implement all those using help of all those stuff, obviously you can optimize the simulation time. And optimizing simulation time, like, yeah, obviously that there is a role of the software, but there is a role of the human as well, like how he is actually planning those simulations. And yeah, they have a very good distributed simulation system with a very optimized engine what they have. So, and end of the day, you recover a good hardware as well. So it's a combination of everything. So there is no single, you know, way or a path to follow.
Myself, Drone Sharma, I'm from the same team only. So I wanted to ask, what was the one limitation which you faced? If that was not there, you would have took it up a notch. What was the one limitation which you think was stopping you?
Okay, so I don't know. It's like so. If you want limitation, if you want to know the limitation, then I have to talk about the cons also. Yeah. So I think we should focus on the stability of the tools and GPU utilizations and a proper build version. Basically, what we have faced is that, like, it's quite difficult to judge that which one will be supported by which build version, you know. So sometimes, like, CFX flows well with a particular version. Sometimes Flip goes well with a particular version. So, like, I think what we feel is like the version 21, it's great, but it's a bit unstable. So there we have to, because what happened is, like, you know, it is not a R&D project, you know. It's a project what you have to deliver within a specific timeline. And so what happens is, so, like, when we keep on trying different build versions or something for the stability or so eventually when we are reaching the deadline, so we can't do that much of, you know, back and forth, or so we need a stable one. We should know, yes, if we do something with this one, we will go through, and the output what we need, we can achieve. So I think in that part of that, the work need to be done. Thank you so much.